Hello everybody. I'm going to try to do my instructions this way so that you can come back to this if you need me and I'm not available because I might be either Zooming with somebody else or something, but this way you always have the instructions available to you. Today we're going to be looking at weather versus climate. I don't know if you've ever thought about the difference between weather versus climate. You might think they're the same, and they are connected, but they are very different when you start to dissect each one in its definition. So you're going to do a couple things today. First, you're going to watch a video. The video is embedded in the Canvas. There's also a QR link on a worksheet that you're going to download in just a minute or put on your screen. But the best way is probably just to watch the video that's embedded on the Canvas page. Secondly, on the worksheet that you are going to put on your screen, or if you can print it off, if you have access to a printer, that would be even probably more helpful. But you're going to see the worksheet, and there's some scenarios there. I'm going to take you through that in just a minute. Actually, let's go there now. Let me pull that up here. So here is my Canvas page. Now I'm in the student app. It's going to look close to what yours is going to look like, but since I'm a teacher, mine looks slightly different. But this is the home page. If you don't go to the home page, it should make sure it says home or start here. And as I showed you in class, you'll need to scroll down just a tad here to the upcoming lessons. Depending on what period you are, if you are periods 1, 2, or 4, you're watching this on Thursday. If you are periods 5, 6, or 7, you're watching this on Friday. Either one, click the assignment link there, and it's going to take you to this assignment. Now, what's really cool about this is that we're going to give you several options for submitting this. Now, on mine, if I click submission, it's not going to show anything yet because the assignment isn't live, and since I'm a teacher, it's kind of different. But you're going to have the option of doing 3 different ways of submitting this. 1, you can submit this as a file, which I'll talk about in just a minute. 2, you can submit this as a text entry, so you can literally just have the worksheet open either on your screen or if you print it off, and just type in the answers, your answer that you're going to do. Or 3, if you're more comfortable speaking, you can record an audio or a video file of yourself. And any of these methods is fine as long as we get the information from you. I don't think I care how you do it. I just want to hear your thoughts, okay? So if you're more comfortable speaking rather than writing, especially if English is a language that you're learning, you might want to speak it. Either way is fine to you. But again, so you can either text entry, so like just type up your answers and in a text entry and just hit submit. You can print off the document and write on it and then scan it back in. Or if you have a stylus or an Apple Pencil, if you have an iPad that supports that, you can write on it in a markup or in another PDF app, and you can write on the worksheet itself and then submit that document, or like I said, audio or video there. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. If not, I'm here in the Zoom and you can ask me questions. So scrolling down, you'll notice that I've embedded this video. It's just a 2 or 3 minute video on weather versus climate, and you might recognize Neil deGrasse Tyson from other things you've seen in the past. Watch that video. He does a really nice job of explaining weather versus climate. Once you've watched that video, scroll back up here, click on the click here, the link there, and you're going to see this. So this is our geotask for the day, weather versus climate. There's the QR code in case you print this off and you want to watch it again or whatever. I'm just trying to make this as easy as possible for you so you can QR code that if you want. So there's 2 things to do on this. The first one is if you look at these scenarios, numbers 1 through 5, I ask you to decide if this is describing weather or climate. So based on what you've watched in the video, and there's some definitions below, is the answer or the scenarios in 1 through 5 weather or climate. So it's 57 degrees and raining in Paris. Circle weather or climate if that's describing weather or climate. It's hot and humid in July in Georgia in July, weather or climate. I think that makes sense. So again, if you're you're marking up on this worksheet, just circle either one. If you are doing a text entry, just write number 1, weather or climate. Number 2, weather or climate. And if you are doing an audio or video, just tell me, hey, number 1 is an example of weather or climate. I think hopefully that makes sense. If not, again, I'm here in the Zoom. You can ask me for questions or responses. Below is some information, a broader definition of weather and a broader definition of climate. Some components or parts of what makes up weather, what makes up climate, and then the time period for both. Now here's the big part of this assignment, your task. At the bottom it says, based on the information above and from the video, explain your thoughts if weather or climate plays a deeper factor in determining how people live in a specific region. Give specific examples to back up your idea. So does weather or climate play more of a factor in how people live in a region. Let me give you an example from my life, if I can. I was raised in Southern California, San Diego specifically, which is why I'm a ginormous San Diego Padres fan, the best baseball team ever. And I loved growing up there. It was great. Part of San Diego culture, if you know, is it's very beachy. We have a big beach community. And it determines a lot of what we do and how we do things. And so if I'm going to use the beach as an example, though, there's a very big difference between weather and climate. If it's July and it's sunny outside, that's a good day to go to the beach. The weather is sunny. It's 70 degrees. The water is going to be nice because it's July, so I'm going to go to the beach. Now, if it's January and it's sunny, which it typically is, it might even be 70 degrees in January in San Diego, but I'm not going to go to the beach because the water is going to be cold. The weather is about the same, but because of the climate that's different, it affects the water temperature. It affects even sometimes kelp and algae and stuff in the ocean, and that's going to be a pain. So the climate is going to affect whether I go to the beach versus the weather, because the weather might be the same. Now let's take it even different. Now that we live here in Indiana, there's obvious differences between January in Indiana and July in Indiana. So how do you think that the climate, the bigger picture, affects how people live, or the day-to-day weather affects how people live? I hope that makes sense, okay? So let me go back to my camera here, and let's see. All right, so, oops. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, you there? Can you see me? That's not what I wanted to do. Sorry. iPad's kind of freaking out here. Not now. All right. Well, I guess you can't see me. However, let me just go back to this. Hopefully, this makes sense to you. Now, here's what I want you to do. If you are needing help, I'm going to stay in the Zoom. Do not log out of Zoom. Just I'm going to turn my camera off and my mic off, and you can do the same, so you guys can work at your own pace. We'll have the rest of the period to work on this, but I'm going to call us back in at the end of the period, so don't leave, but stay in the Zoom, and then at the end of the period, I'll pull us all back together, okay? But I will be here if you need me. Just kind of open up your mic and say, hey, Mr. Lane, I'll hear you, and I'll turn my camera and mic back on, and I can answer your questions for you, okay? If you have any questions, or you can chat me. That will work too, all right? Either way, I'm here for you. Let me know if you need any help, all right? Let me know.